the Honorable Ministers of Government, Honorable Members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, Head of Missions, and members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Regional Director of the IUCN, Oceania Regional Office, Mr. Mason Smith, our distinguished guests and friends, IUCN, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, bonsoir, and a very pleasant evening to you all. I'm deeply honored to be invited to deliver the keynote address at this momentous juncture of the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. I wish to acknowledge His Excellency, the Ambassador of France, for sharing and hosting this celebration with the management and staff of IUCN Regional Office. Despite the fact he's not here, I wish him well and a safe and speedy return. Now, this year, the world's first environmental union celebrates an accumulative 70 years of service, as we've heard, since it was formed in Fontainebleau, France on the 5th of October 1948. You've heard my birthday. Just as old as that. Now, its regional office here in Seoul was established 11 years ago. Now, from its inception in Fontainebleau and with the full support of the United Nations, IUCN has developed an influential niche in the area of conservation internationally and in the region, and is well regarded within government circles as a source of confidential advice on areas of environmental management, biodiversity conservation, and policy advice. Now, this is a testament to the professionalism of IUCN personnel, past and present, and the leadership team from the 2007 until today. Over the years, IUCN has amassed numerous achievements, strengthening its commitment at the international as well as the regional level in the areas of protection of threatened animal and plant species, world heritage conservation, the management of protected areas, and sustainable development, amongst others. Now, since the year 2000, IUCN has continued to innovate with a focus on nature-based solutions, expanding the role of indigenous peoples in conservation and launching new initiatives such as Save Our Species and the Bond Challenge. The joint effort between IUCN, the United Nations Environment Programme, and the Worldwide Fund for Nature, almost 3 decades ago, had resulted in the release of the World Conservation Strategy that helped define the term sustainable development. Now, ensuing from this determined effort and the call from the IUCN members in 1988 resulted in numerous countries producing their national conservation strategies. Now, IUCN's work has also played a pivotal role in the establishment and sound management of marine protected areas in countries in the Oceania region based on globally defined standards, as you've heard. Now, it has contributed immensely to the development of international conservation laws that led to the creation of the landmark World Heritage Convention, CITES, C-I-T-E-S, or Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, and the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands of International Importance. Now, notably, a number of countries in the Oceania region are members of CITES. Now, the region is also the proud custodian of a number of heritage and Ramsar sites of significant global and traditional value. And under the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, IUCN has become the most comprehensive authority worldwide on the status of biological plants and animal species. Again, we've heard from the director. Now, closer to home, the IUCN has expanded its reach and influence beyond Fiji with the expansion of the Oceania Regional Office from 1 to 3 in Suva, manned by over 30 Fiji-based staff and project personnel in Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, and Tonga. These are the hard-working people who make it happen behind the scenes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, IUCN's membership across the region, which consists of state and non-state entities, includes 9 state members, including Australia and New Zealand, 14 government agencies, 28 non-governmental organizations, and 1 indigenous peoples organization. Now, this unique amalgam of entities places IUCN in a strengthened position of convener of ideas and in shaping the direction of conservation and sustainable development in the region. The Fiji government was admitted as a state member of IUCN on the 1st of May 2009. Now, Fiji's relationship with IUCN began soon after Fiji gained its independence from Great Britain in 1970, and even prior to the official establishment of IUCN office here in Suva. In 2008, the Fijian government engaged IUCN in the 1990s to prepare a national environment strategy for Fiji. Went back that far, culminating in the production of the first Fiji State Environmental Report and the National Environment Strategy for this country. IUCN has worked with island governments and civil society organizations in the fields of leadership and green growth, mangrove management, renewable energy, marine spatial planning and management, protected areas management, species conservation, and biosecurity. IUCN has also acted as a backstop for a myriad of policy issues relating to the environment. Now, more recently in the field of climate change, especially those that pertain to the Paris Agreement, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and the Aichi biodiversity targets. I'm also informed that the next World Conservation Congress will be hosted by the government of France in Marseille in June 2020, and I look forward to IUCN's leadership in Oceania as the region shapes the direction, conservation and sustainable development in the lead-up to the review of Aichi targets in 2020 and SDGs in 2030. Now, the region faces a number of existential threats, not only to our survival, but also to biodiversity and the very ecosystem upon which most of us live and depend. Now, at the recent meeting of the Pacific leaders in Nauru, leaders reiterated that climate change is the single greatest threat to the livelihoods, the security, and well-being of our Pacific people. It is a real present threat today. I encourage IUCN and other conservation organizations to work closely with the Fijian Presidency of COP23 to ensure that our Pacific peoples can face up to the threat posed by climate change and introduce innovative solutions to mitigate and help our people adapt to the reality of climate change. And so heartening to hear that IUCN stands ready to help in that regard. Now, as a Pacific people, the Pacific Ocean unites us as a region. Now, but our ocean is under threat too. Now, marine debris and increasingly the plastic pollutants are now becoming a very big threat to our source of livelihood, as we heard. I believe that IUCN, through its union of more than 1,300 members, its 6 world commissions with more than 30,000 scientist members, other scientists, 30,000, and with a global distribution of its secretarial staff in over 50 countries, is ideally placed to assist the Pacific region in dealing with issues that affect our ocean and terrestrial environment. I also believe that IUCN is doing exactly what Fiji wants to do in terms of keeping our oceans clean and sustainable, not only for our current generation, but more importantly for our future generations. Now, Fiji has played a lead role in co-chairing the inaugural United Nations Oceans Conference. It is playing a lead role in pushing the climate change agenda in a capacity as the president of COP23, and it will continue to call on world leaders to take more responsibility with global warming and the consequential impact of climate change. Now, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to IUCN's continued technical assistance in assessing the state of our natural resources and providing our people with sound expertise and policy advice on conservation issues. Now, to commemorate IUCN's 70th anniversary, I'm pleased that the regional office is calling upon young photographers across the nation to submit their visual perspective on biodiversity and conservation. Well done. I look forward to meeting you after this. Not only is photography a valuable tool for awareness, It also gives the younger generation a sense of ownership, very important, a sense of ownership, an extension of the government, of the environment around us. Now, I encourage every 13 to 19 years old to participate in this photographic campaign. We made a start. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all the best and a pleasant evening as we commemorate IUCN's 70 years of conservation work. Merci beaucoup, Nawalewu. Thank you, and may the Almighty God continue to bless you and our beloved nation, Fiji. Nawalewu. Thank you.
Allongé sur le sable, let us sing.